It's a weekend, and when most road users would have thought the road would be as free as a bee, they guessed wrong. The gridlock of the past couple of days has turned minutes' drive into hours. The Federal Ministry of Works had suspended the construction work on that axis for a day to plan and make provision for required improvements in traffic management on the road.
It's not what one can be experienced often, you know.
Road users are angry and insist that the contractor can get the job done without the lingering hardship.
Over 2 hours.
From where?
I'm coming from Abeokuta.
Wow. So can you talk to us about your experience?
Very, very, very terrible. Very, very terrible. They should please and do something.
5 hours. What kind of nonsense is this? Conversion don't carry people inside motor. What are they doing? 3 hours.
We have been in the traffic for more than 2 hours now. We are tired. Why this now?
Amid the gridlock, traffic management officials continue to face the challenge of those driving against traffic. The acting controller of works in Lagos says the traffic situation will be better in the coming days.
It's only about 1.3 kilometers that is causing this gridlock that you are seeing, that is causing the traffic you are seeing. And we are working hard to make sure that within the next 1 month, we finish the 1.3 kilometers and deliver it. And you will see by that time, the traffic would have eased. So we are not expecting that motorists will go through this till December 15 that we are mandated to deliver the road. We have plans to start night work, but we have not started. It's in the pipeline. We will soon start night work.
So what is stopping the night work?
The logistics. We haven't put logistics in order. Once the logistics are in order, we have the traffic management agencies, officials and security officers to be on guard to secure our workers. Then we'll start night work.
As motorists hope for a smooth and a free-flowing traffic in the coming days, traffic management officials are also appealing to road users to desist from driving against traffic and obey all dedicated road diversions along the road. Dari Ido, Channels Television News.
It's interesting that I'm going to be talking about Lagos-Ibadan Expressway from here in Abuja. But sometimes it does work like that. We understand that for the past couple of weeks now, it's been hell for those who had to use that Lagos-Ibadan Expressway because of the traffic gridlock there occasioned by work that is currently ongoing. But perhaps to shed a little light as to what is going to be done to ease the traffic on that road, we have with us this morning Mr. Adedamola Kuti, who is the Director of Federal Highway Southwest. Thank you for joining us this morning on Sunrise Daily.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm sure you saw some of the comments of passers-by on that road. They are obviously not happy. Those who will have cause to use the road today, I'm sure they will be already quaking in their boots as to what the road is going to offer them. So what do you have to say about how the planning for this particular job, because you know it's a high-density road in terms of the traffic usage. So would you say that there was some problem? Did you not envisage that you were going to see this sort of problems, especially with traffic, and put in place adequate traffic management procedures before going ahead with the work?
Yeah, thank you very much. Like you rightly stated, this is about the busiest road in West Africa, if not in the whole of Africa. And recall that we started this reconstruction work some time ago, and as at today, we've been able to achieve about 37.5 kilometers already completed on that stretch of Section 1 from the old toll gate up to Shagamu. Now, we are on the final lap. This is the final stretch. You see, in terms of, we got our traffic management plan approved, and we created diversion. As a matter of fact, it's a moving traffic. You know, it's not something that is stationary. And what are the factors responsible for this gridlock? They are man-made problems. One, some drivers decided to drive against traffic, especially on that particular Friday, you know, driving against traffic, coming in through Warewa, busting out at Opik Junction, you know, now driving against those who are coming out of Lagos. Because on that stretch, we are working on the inbound Lagos. Now, the second factor that is responsible for all these things, it's, you know, when people pick passengers, especially at diversion areas. You pick passengers, you drive against traffic, there are major issues. And then, of course, when you have breakdown or any accident. For breakdown, we have our towing vehicles that are on standby to assist them in pulling off those vehicles. But when you look at the issue of driving against traffic, it's been an issue we've been contending with right from the beginning. And we keep urging our drivers to play whichever way. As a matter of fact, that traffic on that stretch on Kara Bridge end, it will not extend more than about 5 kilometers. And with 5 kilometers, if you do small arithmetic, you cannot exceed 15 minutes to 20 minutes on that stretch. 15 minutes to 20 minutes on a stretch of 5 kilometers, you know, and you are driving at 20 kilometers an hour. When you drive on 20 kilometers an hour, on 5 kilometer stretch, within 20 minutes or thereabout, 15 minutes, you are out of that area.
Well, let me take this to Lagos, because I'm sure that those who are experiencing this will certainly like to get their questions in. Gentlemen.
Well, thank you, Amalkwe. Well, Mr. Kuti, you know, one of the challenges that a number of people would, I mean, we saw the release that came from the, you know, the Federal Ministry of Works and all of that. You know, the question that one would want to ask is, I mean, given the plans that you said was in play, and all of the and other issues, other plans made out, alternatives and all of that, it would seem like none of it was in play at all. Because just as you said, of course, we know that government wouldn't want to bring untold hardship on people. So what happened to those alternative plans that were in place, that you said was approved, that would have alleviated the problems, the road gridlocks that people experienced?
Thank you, Ayo. You see, the plan on that road that we are working on the inbound Lagos, the outbound Lagos, we made it free. We made that outbound completely free, so that anybody leaving Lagos has nothing to do with what is happening on the inbound. And then on the inbound Lagos, where we are working, we divided the road into two. Walk on one half of the road to accommodate, and then of course you leave the remaining half. That half can accommodate 2 vehicles at the same time. And once you are within a construction zone, you cannot go beyond 30 kilometers an hour. That is the allowable maximum speed. So it's a moving traffic. But you know, once you see influx of vehicles, especially at peak period, then drivers begin to look for, a lot of them don't want to be, they don't want to stay inside the challenge then, Mr. Kuti. I think that has contributed largely to what we experienced.
Perhaps the challenge then is that some things, maybe some other things, some other factors were not put into consideration, and here is why. You know that at the junction, you know, one of the areas along the route that you're talking about, inbound Lagos, there is a U-turn right in front of Opik. I'm sure you know where I'm talking about. So this U-turn has heavy vehicle at certain times of the day. And at that junction, the road is really, really bad. So making a quick U-turn isn't something that can be easily done. There were attempts by road traffic officers to stop traffic and, you know, pass this side and pass that side. That didn't quite work. And as a result of that U-turn, which usually has a tailback, it goes as far as from that Opik that I'm very sure you know, all the way to 7-Up, which you know is quite a distance. So now that the construction has been suspended for now, How long is this going to take? And what's going to happen when construction resumes? Because I'm aware that the minister said that this road will be delivered by the end of this year.
Thank you. We have not suspended work. We only suspended work on Saturday, just to ensure that so many other things are put in place. And the area you mentioned, that OPIC area, you see, what we do on that road is that we do continuous palliative. And of course, we experience heavy rains in a couple of days. That must have contributed to the bad nature of that particular U-turn. And whichever way, even if any vehicle is making a U-turn at OPIC, those who are still heading towards Ibadan should go unhindered. But what you discover is that some vehicles who have taken, drivers who have taken the earth road, driving against traffic, they also want to maneuver to enter from that area. And that has been our problem. So the issue is palliative works. We are providing palliative works on a continuous basis. As a matter of fact, over this weekend, we ensured that more palliative works were done on Saturday and yesterday Sunday. So even this morning, work is resuming this morning, and then of course you see free flow. As at yesterday, the entire stretch on the outbound Lagos, of course, it was free by noon. Everywhere we ensure that even where they go, the Warewa area, where people enter, to drive against traffic, we ensure that it was blocked, and so that there won't be any access for anybody to drive against traffic from there. And then, of course, the traffic officers are on ground to ensure free movement.
When the Berger axis, Berger up until maybe moving into Lagos was done, I thought that you had a typology of what to expect if you were facing the current area, the portion that is being constructed now, the OPIC, and then outward Lagos. So what is the difference? Because when that bit was done, there wasn't this much hue and cry compared to what people are speaking about now. Why is that the case?
Just explain this. As we speak, we are working at two different locations on that road. We are working at that OPIC area, that Kara area, and we are also working around 7-Up coming towards Otedola Bridge.
Okay.
We didn't experience this kind of problem on that stretch. The stretch from 7-Up up to Otedola Bridge, because there is no way for any driver to drive against traffic there. And work has been going on smoothly on that particular stretch. And in fact, that particular stretch is nearing completion. So, but on this other area, this is, a lot of people live along this axis, Arepo, Magboro, all this Ibafo area. So people live around there, and then you have some companies also within this area. So all the access road by the side, that is where people now drive again. We are working presently now. Check from 0 to 2.8. That is about Otedola Bridge on inbound Lagos. Work is moving on smoothly. We have no problem there. And that is even in the heart of Lagos.
Okay,
right in the heart of Lagos.
I heard
so this problem here has to do all this.
Okay, pardon me. I heard the submissions previously, so I just needed to be sure that it was the same scenario you were speaking to that's why I had to put the question that way. But those earth roads, because I know that the alternative routes towards maybe inward Lagos and opposite outward Lagos as well, where you had the fuel station and then close to the Berger, those alternative roads have been worked on. But there are other roads, maybe downward, outward Lagos, close to where you are, and then under the bridge towards Kara area. Many thought that area too might have been done to ease traffic and then towards the OPIC axis. What is the thinking about that?
Chamberlain, I just gave you a simple arithmetic now. Number one, those earth roads, they are not alternative roads to us. Where we are working, we have provided diversion, and then vehicles can move at the maximum allowable speed. And the maximum allowable speed is 30 km/h on construction zone. Even if you are driving at 20 kilometers an hour and you have a stretch of 5 kilometers, within 15 minutes, 20 minutes, you are out of that place. Once there is no breakdown of vehicle, once there is no driving against traffic, once there is no accident. Even if there is any accident or any breakdown, we have towing vans, towing trucks are there to pull those vehicles off. But the problem has to do with those who cannot be patient enough to drive and then wait for their turn. So that is the issue. That is the crux of the matter. So the diversion that we have provided can allow two vehicles at the same time driving at 20 kilometers an hour. And within 20 minutes, 30 minutes maximum, you are out of that traffic.
Well, unfortunately, we're speaking about what should be in an ideal situation, and we know that it's never, unfortunately too, indiscipline, plays a huge role. And we know that you've done several roads and you see these traits time and again. So thought that could have been factored in. But we heard one of your officials speaking about plans being in place to ensure you work at night, such that the tailback, the impact is not felt that much during the day. Is that what is the latest on that now? Is that going to kick off, or has it kicked off at all?
Thank you. Night walk has nothing really to do with whether there is movement of vehicles or not, or gridlock. Night walk will only encourage it to assist us in meeting our delivery dates. Because once you move, once you excavate a stretch, you cannot come back in the morning and allow vehicles to run on that excavated stretch. So that is the issue. But it will help us to gain time and then deliver our road at the appropriate time. We have the presidential mandate to deliver this road before the end of this year.
Exactly.
And that is where we are.
I was just about to say, what exactly is the appropriate time, and how much longer do the people who are using that stretch of road have to, endure this gridlock?
As we speak, you see, that particular stretch is just about 1.3 kilometers.
Yes.
And that 1.3 kilometers, once it's completed, we move to the other side.
When will it be completed?
Well, it depends on so many factors. This is rainy season. Even the rains itself has the capacity to delay your works and whichever way. But we are there. We are working. So once we finish this stretch, we move on to the outbound Lagos.
You do not have a time frame in which you're hoping to finish one stretch?
I just told you now that everything depends on the weather.
Yes, but even with the weather, give or take, I'm sure you must have a calculation, give or take, we should be done in 4 weeks, give or take, we should be able to
on that particular stretch, whichever way, and I think within the next 4, 5, 6 weeks, we should be done with that area. We are moving very well.
That's for both sides?
No, for that stretch, for that inbound Lagos.
For that inbound Lagos, for the 1.23 kilometers.
1.3 kilometers.
1.3 kilometers.
Yeah.
So on the inbound, then you move to the other side.
Move to the outbound.
Why does it take so long? I mean, 6 weeks is quite a long time for 1.3 kilometers.
I factored in the weather.
Yeah, but even with the weather, 1.3 kilometers.
This is engineering works. We should tell you, what we are doing there is not maintenance. What we are doing there is the complete reconstruction of that road. And you need to be there and see what is happening. When you go down, you are excavating down, you need to import your materials, you need to compact, you need to carry out the test at different layers. And then, of course, if it rains, it takes you longer time. You need to factor in all those things. And then, because you have a moisture to contend with, there's a moisture content that we work with. And those are the issues that play around that area. So but whichever way, we have a delivery day, like I mentioned to you, and that is December, and we are working very hard to ensure that.
Okay, well, we also hear that you're going to be working at night very soon. How quickly is that going to start,
Yes, like I was trying to explain to Chamberlain the other time. You see, night work is there. We are planning towards it. We need to look at issues of security.
Yes, your director in Lagos already explained, but what I'm saying is, can you give us more information? How quickly? In the next 1 week, in the next 2 weeks?
No, I can't give a time frame, but we are working out the modalities.
Okay, we have to thank you very much for coming on Sunrise Today this morning. Mr. Adedamola Kuti is the Director of Federal Highway Southwest. Thank you so much for coming on Sunrise.
Can I just say this? You see,
quickly,
yes, for our people, we are really very sorry for what they are experiencing. I know it's not easy when people stay longer time, especially the law-abiding ones. you know, but they need to please bear with us. We're on the final stretch. The sections we have completed, I think they are all enjoying it. I believe they are all enjoying it. So they should just bear with us to complete this final stretch. And let everybody, they are the beneficiaries in the long run.
Thank you.